Hello there, I'm Bonibert, and this week I saw possibly one of the new best animated films of the decade so far. And of course, that movie is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I'm gonna get into the reasons why it's really good in a little bit, but I just want to tell you to go see this movie while it's still in theaters. It deserves the money. It's really good, and here's why. First off, this is probably one of DreamWorks' best animated films. The colors are so vibrant and the art style is amazing. It made the movie pop more and it made it more fun. The animation reminded me a lot of Into the Spider-Verse, and in case you didn't know, that's one of the best animated films of all time in my opinion. So to have another film this good that looks like this movie is amazing. I'll talk a little more about the animation in a few minutes, but let's talk about the characters. Let's start with Goldilocks and the Three Bears. They're honestly one of the funniest parts of the movie, and their story was honestly kind of cute. I enjoyed how they were kind of like a family of bounty hunters, and I really liked the relationship they had with each other. They're probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, but let's move on to the next character. The next character is Big Jack Horner, and again, he was one of the funniest parts of the movie. In fact, I think he was the funniest part of the movie. Now, I've never heard of this character because I think he's from a nursery rhyme that I never heard before, but he was definitely an unexpected surprise that is probably one of the best parts of the movie. He actually kind of felt like a threat near the end of the movie, which is kind of funny. Let's move on to the next character. Let's talk about Burrito. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought this guy was annoying towards the beginning of the movie. But as the story went along, I actually kind of found him kind of cute and he was pretty funny. His backstory was tragic, which I wasn't expecting. And I really liked his relationship with Puss and Kitty Softpaws. Speaking of Kitty Softpaws, I don't really remember her from the first movie. But I guess she was pretty cool in this movie. She was kind of just there for me. I didn't really care for her except for towards the end. And that's all I really have to say. Next up, we got the main big bad of the movie, which is Death. And man, he was a really good villain, I'm telling you. He wasn't really funny, which I liked, and he was actually very intimidating. Whenever I heard that whistling, I knew some serious crap was about to go down. He actually kind of gave me chills. And he actually acted as something that Puss was actually scared of. And let's move on to the next character, which is the legend and hero himself, Puss in Boots. He had a very interesting arc, kinda, in this movie. He went from being fearless to fearful to thankful. He was fearless because he thought he had 9 lives, but he lost them all, besides 1. And that's where he became fearful that he would lose it. And so he goes after the last wish to get his 9 lives back. And then he learns a lesson that he should be thankful for the life he has. And I feel like that's a really good lesson for kids to learn. Be thankful for what you have because you don't know if you're going to have it the next day. And by the way, Antonio Banderas and basically everyone on set did an amazing job with voice acting. The voice acting really made these characters come to life. Before we go on to the next segment, I want to go over some of my favorite parts of the movie. Gingy's cameo during the life sequences, which is my favorite sequence in the movie. Pinocchio had a cameo during Jack Horner's backstory. Shrek made a quick 1-second cameo. And the ending is the best part. So, Puss and friends are on a boat and he says, "We're going to visit some old friends." And then it shows far, far away. I almost screamed in theaters. For the uninitiated, Shrek 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. So the fact that Shrek 5 was hinted at in this scene, it's just breathtaking for me. I mean, I love Shrek, so being able to see him again, possibly, is just amazing. Now, let's get into the next part, which is the fight scenes. And I gotta say, they're on par with Kung Fu Panda, in my opinion. And that's saying something because Kung Fu Panda has some insane fight sequences. I mean, you got the fight at the beginning of the movie, the fight at the end of the movie, the fights in the middle of the movie. It's just amazing. All of them. I think the low amount of frames kind of makes it for me because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse did that, and I love Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I know I've said this about a lot of things, but the fight scenes are the best part of the movie. They are the best part of the movie. I think the bright, colorful environment really helps these fights stand out. Okay, I believe I got everything I wanted to say out of the way. Now I'm going to come up with the final verdict. Overall, this is one of DreamWorks' best movies, I gotta say. It's really funny, like Shrek, and also has a kind of deep lessons like Shrek. It was fun seeing these characters on the big screen again, and it has some clever references and amazing fight scenes. Overall, I think this movie gets a big ol' 10 out of 10. There's no such thing as a perfect movie, but this thing deserves a 10 out of 10. I believe that's on par with Shrek 2, which is insane. If you stayed until the end, thank you, and if you haven't yet, subscribe. It's free. I try to upload as much as I can, and well, tell me what you want to see in the comments, and do you agree with this? Let me know. That's Bonabert out. I will see you all in the next one, and cut.